welcome everybody to the Solano College Sports Network. We are here in Fairfield, California at Rodriguez High School, and tonight we have a fantastic matchup between the Fairfield Falcons and the Rodriguez Mustangs. My name is Cameron Anderson, and alongside me, my broadcast partners, Zay Randall and Jonathan Cobbs. Ready for the opening kickoff. So it looks like Rodriguez has deferred, so they will kick it off to the Fairfield Falcons to start this one. Looks like free safety, number 12, Romeo Orchiato, will be back to return.
Seem to move the Rodriguez Mustangs back a few yards from normal.
Oh yeah, at the 25. Not quite sure what happened there.
Let's get on your feet and let's make some noise.
And it looks like it hit the up man, and he will get down it at the 45-yard line. So it looked like Rod was trying to go for an onside kick there, but Fairfield with great field position. Esteban Escobedo with the recovery right there for the Falcons. So now we'll see this Falcon offense led by Isaiah Nolan, quarterback number 8. As Eric Duncan's in the backfield, number 15. Nolan hopefully trying to get it going in this one. 3 touchdowns to 9 interceptions on the season. But he does have 37 carries for 156 yards and a touchdown, so clearly a dual threat quarterback for the Falcons. Already false start for the Falcons, so that'll back them up. Now they're at the 50-yard line, 1st and 15.
It's not the start you want, but it's okay. Let's get it rolling, Falcons.
Looks like Rodriguez is playing up today.
Yeah.
Man-to-man coverage press.
We saw in our last broadcast against Vacaville, they were stacking that box, trying to stop the run, and it might have come back to bite them as they had Vacaville had some key one-on-one matchups, again, in the press here. Nolan, left hand, going deep, and it's almost picked off just out of reach of safety, Jeffrey Missouri.
Yep, you got to keep an eye out for that safety back there. Missouri, he's just in a cover 3 right now, just roaming around with doing whatever he wants. Wherever he feels he needs to cover, that's where he'll be.
He did almost get that, too. He got a hand on it. A little tip. Better watch out back there.
Now 2nd and 15. Duncan still in the backfield. We'll see if they pass it here or try to pick up some yards with the running back. And he's going to hand it off. He's not going anywhere, though. Looks like number 59, Kashawn Gresham, was there to bring him down, as he may have picked up a yard.
That was a nice play by him, too. He filled the gap quick.
Yeah,
Got off the line really fast.
Gresham on the edge. The linebackers in the front seven for Rodriguez has been very impressive so far, as they have 27 team sacks.
Oh, wow.
The national average is 7.5. They have 20 more team sacks than the national average so far at this part of the season. Nolan dropping back. And this one's a floater, but it'll land just in front of that Rodriguez secondary. Almost another sack right there. Good pressure by Gabriel Betrez.
That's that man. That's the man I brought up earlier, Mr. Gabriel Betrez. He leads the team in sacks this year. Can't let him get in the backfield. He can cause havoc.
Yep, Fairfield caught a break right there. That was just a wobbler. Not too many plays that you can run when it's 3rd and 15. I'll tell you that.
In fact, 4th and 15 now. Looks like they're going for it at their 50-yard line.
I think they got the kicker out there.
They got the punter in. It's my fault. And a line drive. This one's a little short. And Jeremiah Hill's going to pick it up. He might have some blocks if he can get to the outside, as he is eventually brought down just in front of the 30-yard line. We'll call it the 33.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was supposed to do that, but I can't be mad at him. Athlete's he's gonna want to make a play every time, every chance he get.
Seen some amazing highlights though. If he would have picked that up and took that to the house while it was still bouncing.
Yeah, we've seen both Jeremiah Hill and Leroy Bryant back there returning punts and kicks at a very high level. Two really good athletes, both seniors this season, and were explosive last year as well. And here's a run. Damani Nelson down the sideline. He's got some room, and he will eventually get taken out of bounds, but not before he picks up a good chunk of change as he brings it across to the Falcons side.
It looks like the corner was able to set that edge down there. The linebackers just have to flow over, and they have to be able to make that play.
And it looks like the Rodriguez Mustangs have Dylan Burke back there, the sophomore quarterback, as he will start off. He's going to keep it. He's got some wheels. He gets to the outside. He's got some room and is eventually out of bounds, but not before he picks up a good 20 to 30-yard run right there.
He fast. Lamar Jackson fast.
It's wearing number 8.
I think we can see the game plan.
It looks like they're going to be in the no huddle today.
An offensive penalty, so they're going to bring this one back. Probably a holding. Oh, this may be bigger than a holding.
Another break for the Falcons.
So this is a 15-yard penalty, so back to the 35-yard line, basically where they started this drive. I'm assuming they're going to stay with the run attack, as they have clearly shown that they can do that so far in this one. Damani Nelson in the backfield. Oh, they're going to throw a screen out to Bryant.
Good gang tackle by the Fairfield Falcons. That's how you go and hit somebody.
I think it's pretty evident what the Rodriguez Mustangs want to do tonight. They just want to get the ball to the playmaker and let him hit the edge. They haven't tried the middle not one time. All 3 of the plays they ran, get that edge.
New running back in the backfield. Yeah, it looks like they're trying to use their speed to their advantage. Muffed snap. Burke's gonna have to run it outside. Gonna take it himself. Makes a move and eventually is out of bounds and picked up about 5 on a play that was really broken and could have been a loss of probably 5 yards right there.
Yep, that's how you turn nothing into something right there.
Third and 15. They're going to to have to push the sticks this time.
Looks like Daniel Childs is in the backfield with Keelan Highball in the slot. Andres Garcia out wide, and he's going to Garcia. No, this is hot. It's caught! And he will take it all the way to the end zone. Number 21, Keelan Highball.
What a beautiful ball by number 8, Dylan Burke. He put that right in his chest. Wow, he tattooed that one on him.
Caught him in stride perfectly. He seen the safety was flat-footed. He trusted his receiver with his speed. It was wraps.
Looked like a simple wheel route, right?
I think it just might have been a simple streak.
Yeah, Highball was in the slot.
Said they had to push the sticks, and they very well did.
Yeah.
That's 6.
On 3rd and 6, they have a house call after getting a couple of plays called back. Nonetheless, 6-0 Mustangs. We'll see if the extra point is good as well, and it is.
That's exactly how you want to start the night off if you're the Mustangs.
So 7-0 Rodriguez to start this one.
Hope to see the Fairfield Falcons get something started this drive.
Yeah, the Falcons are looking to get it going on defense. Only one defensive touchdown so far, as they had a pick 6 earlier in the season. And still looking for their first sack as well. So we'll see if that defensive line can get some pressure later in this one.
See if they try to go for the onside kick again.
Yeah, we'll see if they get risky here. This time it's at the 40. Mateo Arias is the kicker for the Mustangs. As you can see the wind knocking over the football there. This one, a squib off the fingertips of one of the up men and into a Falcons player as he is quickly dropped. This one right around the 30-yard line.
Tackle.
So we'll see if Isaiah Nolan in this offense can get it going against the Mustangs defense that has been very good so far this season, allowing only 19 points per game so far through the first 6 games of the season. They also have 7 forced fumbles and 5 interceptions, so some ball hawks. And the biggest one of them all, number 1, Leroy Bryant, who's lined up on their number 1. As it's a run, quarterback gonna run Nolan, as he's eventually dropped by a few Mustangs.
It looks like the halfback just went to the wrong side on that play.
Yeah.
At least he had the awareness to still try to get something out of nothing. Still got a couple yards. Put you in a good place on 2nd down.
Fairfield trying to get their play call from the coach. Might be some confusion. So clock rolling. We're at 8:20 here in the first quarter. As it's now a 2nd and 6 to go. Nolan motions the receiver. And he hands it off to his running back, immediately met by Trevor Cromie, middle linebacker for the Mustangs.
Yeah, and it looks like the Mustangs are doing the exact same thing they did last week, with just loading the men inside that box and letting their athletes guard their athletes one-on-one. They trust their DBs. And by the looks of it, I would too.
Duncan back in the backfield. Third and 5. Here's Nolan. It's a speed option. No, he's going to try to throw it, and it's intercepted. Malik Dawson right there for his first INT of the season. The new linebacker for the Mustangs, who was the nose tackle for all of last season, as he changed to a linebacker this year and is second in tackles and tackles for loss as he gets his first pick on the season.
And the only reason why he was in position to make that play is because he understood his job and he did his assignment. It's easy to get for your eyes to get big and you can go get that quarterback. It's easy to do that. He stood with that running back the entire time, broken that ball, and made a play.
Yeah, we talked about that pressure from Rodriguez front 7 as there's now a flag thrown. Bentley Williams in the backfield for the Mustangs. Not sure what the penalty is.
I think you think it's 12 men on the field, but when I look over and try to count, I'm pretty sure there's 11. Yeah, I think he's going to pick that one up.
Yeah. They also hadn't snapped the ball yet, so.
Yeah.
If you have 12 men, once you snap the ball, then yeah, it's a penalty, but.
Unless they broke the huddle with 12, but I don't believe they did that.
Sometimes your eyes just mistake you.
Yeah. Burke in the gun. Williams to his left. And he's going to play action up the field. Jeremiah Hill did not catch it.
What a great play on the ball.
Beautiful play.
That is a pick.
A great play by Josh Tucker, number 2. He went up and got that. Way to play the ball in the air, young man.
Dylan Burke just floated a little bit too much and gave the defender a chance, and he went up there and grabbed that ball right out the air. He got that ball at the highest point.
Maybe because of the wind.
True. I was going to talk about how it may be tough for both these offenses to pass with the wind, as it's really strong right now. It might be a heavy rush game. And Josh Tucker with 2 touchdowns as a receiver that time, his first pick, and a fumble. Dawson picks it up. Fairfield just can't hold the ball right there, and it'll be a late penalty, but I don't think this is going to call back the fumble. So Dawson with 2 takeaways in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, he's having a night. It just seems like he's in the right spot every single time.
That's probably why they moved him out there to linebacker. Just has a nose for the ball. He can find it at any time.
Yeah.
Him and Trevor Cromie, a combined 80 tackles on the season. So they're getting it done at the linebacker core, with Betrez coming off the edge and Gashawn Gresham as well. So here's the Mustang offense again. Williams in the backfield. Motion Bryant. Hands it off. Bryant. He's got some room. If he gets to the outside, he cuts it back and is eventually stopped, but not before he reaches the 10-yard line down to the 8.
There the Fairfield Falcons defense goes, gang tackling again. I like how they're doing that. Bringing at least 6 to 7 men to the ball each time.
So now down in the red zone. First and goal. Another motion. It's flipped. This time Garcia. And he will walk into the end zone. A late penalty on the play. And it looks like it's going to be on the offense. It's a holding call. So this will back it up.
You see, all these players are to the edge.
Yep.
They just want to get to the edge. It's pretty obvious that the Rodriguez Mustangs just want to stretch this defense out as far as they can and get the ball to their athlete. Speed kills.
That is a fast team. Their playmakers are extremely fast, even their quarterback.
There's a lot of speed on this team, both quarterbacks.
Yep. Yeah, Keenan Jones as well. And it looks like they're also going to tack on an unsportsmanlike conduct. So this was going to back them up quite a bit here.
Yeah, that hurts.
Penalties can cost you a game, so you don't want to rack them up. I think last week we talked about discipline. That may be major this week.
Yeah, both teams, Vacaville and Rodriguez, had some penalty issues. I'm sure they try to clean that up. So here's still now 1st and goal from the 25. And it's a run. Hill. Another flag comes in. He breaks a tackle, eventually out of bounds. We'll have to wait and see what the call is here. Unless there's no penalty on the play. Not quite sure what's going on. We apologize. There's no communication with the refs, so
Pretty sure it was a holding call.
another holding penalty. So this one's back to the 35-yard line. They're calling it 2nd down. 2nd and goal from the 30-yard line. Handoff, Garcia. Same play that he got in the end zone, but he got called back, and this time he's dropped after a pickup of roughly 10 yards.
Again, the Mustangs trying to get to that outside. The thing about trying to get to the outside is that receiver, he has to stay on that block for about 2 to 3 seconds, and that's a long time to stay on one block. That's why they got so many holding calls already.
It seems Fairfield's defensive ends are doing a good job controlling the edge.
Another handoff, but penalty.
I believe that's the 6th flag on this drive.
This time it looks like it's on the defense. So offsides on Fairfield. This one will benefit the Mustangs. Still 3rd down, right around the 20-yard line. This may be 4-down territory for the Mustangs, depending on how much they trust their kicker. A fake run, throw to Bryant, stiff arm, but is out of bounds. Just in front of the 10-yard line. So about a pickup of 8 on the screen.
Looks like the field goal unit's coming out.
Like I said earlier, it's a windy night, so we'll see how this goes. Hopefully, he makes it.
Yeah, this is a tough kick on any level.
Yep. With the wind tonight. Mateo Arias, the kicker. Zach Carvalho, the hold. High snap, gets it down. Oh, nice kick. We'll see if it's in. No, just right. Had the distance, but it looked like it just turned right.
He definitely had the leg for it. Now I see why they trusted him with that 30-yard field goal with the win.
Plenty of distance on that one.
Can't feel bad if you watch the NFL lately. They're missing everything.
Oh, yeah.
College football, too.
Extra points.
Game winners.
Used to be automatic, not anymore.
So the offense will take over as it's still 7-0 with 3:30 left to go here in the first. We'll see if the Falcon offense can get it going here. A couple of turnovers. Had the punt in the first drive of the game with great field position as it's a handoff. And he's immediately dropped down. Great tackle from linebacker Trevor Cromie.
Beautiful tackle. He swallowed him up.
Cromie with 40-plus tackles now on the year.
I'm hoping to see the Fairfield Falcons get the ball into number 2's hands, Josh Tucker, a little bit more. He's a really capable receiver. He has sure hands, as we've seen earlier on that pick.
6 catches for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns for Tucker on the year. The lead wide out for the Falcons this time. Duncan, he's got some room. He gets to the outside and he'll pick up the first down.
A little energy from him too.
Hard running from Duncan as he just slipped outside and eventually dropped by Jeremiah Hill before he got out of bounds.
It's a great block by number 2, Josh Tucker. He was able to block the corner in front of him and then able to peel back and tag a linebacker right after.
Hopefully that provides a spark for their offense and we can see a scoring drive right here.
First down for the Falcons. Handoff. Duncan fighting for yards. And who else? Trevor Cromie in on that tackle once again.
Rodriguez defense looking very active this week, flying around to the ball. Already 2 takeaways in the game.
So timeout on the plays. They'll talk this one over. Just over 2 minutes left here in the first quarter. Fellas, what have you seen from both sides here?
So far from Rodriguez, I've been seeing them try to get outside. It's not doing too well. Well, honestly, they should have 14-0, but the penalties are killing them right now. And for the Falcons, I think they're doing a pretty good job on defense. They just got to get their offense rolling. Hopefully we see some sparks from them soon.
That's right. You pretty much said it. The defense is playing pretty good for Fairfield.
Yeah.
Once they get this offense rolling, we're going to have a pretty good ball game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Mustangs started running the ball down the middle now that they have everybody running towards the edge. That defense is getting a little bit more spread out every single play.
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to see a lot of runs tonight with the wind the way it is. We've already seen a couple of ducks in the air. So I wouldn't be surprised if both these teams go to their running game. 2 good rushing teams, both teams with over 500 yards on the ground so far this year, or roughly 500 yards for the Falcons.
Might have to go through that playbook to find some alternative ways to get the ball into their playmakers' hands. Because over the top might not be the greatest right now. This wind is, if you can hear it, it's howling.
It is. Refs stopping the game once again. Talking to the players. Looks like Bryant and Cromie are coming off the field.
I do respect them for being here, though. There is a shortage of refs out here nowadays. Thankful to have them.
Always. Never want to take anything for granted in the sport that we love.
Oh, yeah. Looks like 2 subs will come in as Bryant and Cromie walk off the field. Not sure what happened. Maybe they're taking a little break. Tucker, line up on the left, and looks like a false start.
Another flag.
I think the right tackle jumped.
I believe they took Cromie and Bryant out because of things on their helmets. Like, I don't know if it's tape or a sticker or what it seems to be, but I see the coach over there messing with the helmet.
Interesting. So second and what looks like 13 yards as it's another run and met in the backfield. That's Betrez. He leads the team in that department.
He really does a good job of maintaining that edge. and he fires off the ball. If you haven't seen so far this game, he's really quick off that snap. Might have to come with a hard count to get him.
Falcons may have to go to a heavier package. Right now, it seems like they're in their speed package, and it's just not working out when they want to run the game. Might have to bring in some heavier bodies. Clear the way.
Yeah, we've seen a couple sort of what looks like some speed options from the quarterback. As looks like a new running back is back there. Esteban Escobedo, number 32. Nolan, the snap, he's going to drop back. Across the middle, slant route just out in front of his receiver. That's Tucker, his first target in this one.
It was actually a nice ball. Yeah, it was a little bit in front of him, but the receiver has to give a little bit more of an effort if you ask me. I think he could stretch out for that one.
Well, the receivers do have to help the quarterback out just a little bit, especially with this wind. You can't expect everything to be on the money right now.
Not on a night like this.
Yep. And that slant route, seems the timing is a big aspect for that play, right?
Definitely.
And it seemed like the timing wasn't that bad right there. It was just out in front, and we'll see if they go back to that later. Tucker, clearly the number one receiver for them. They might need to get him going, especially if Bryant isn't lined up on him.
Yeah, they did a good job of getting him into space.
The punt, and it's blocked.
Get away from it.
So they will pick it up. Looked like Jeff Carr picked that one up. PA announcer calling it a muffed punt. Not sure if it was blocked or what happened, but this ended up at the 26-yard line. So fantastic field position for the Mustangs if they want to take a 2-score lead here in the first quarter. Dylan Burke with Daniel Childs Jr. in the backfield. Outside, Bryant, another wide receiver screen. He's trying to get to the outside and eventually out of bounds. Yeah, as you've been saying, Zay, they're clearly working the edges. Reminds me of a Shanahan offense, trying to get from sideline to sideline.
Yeah.
We'll see if, they try to attack it up the middle now that this defense is spread out, expecting to hold the sidelines, as we see right here. And they do. Childs trying to pick up some yards and eventually drop down. Ball is loose, but looked like they blew the whistle beforehand.
That Falcons defense still holding strong. I like how they're flying around to the ball.
Yeah, they're rallying to the ball.
Rodriguez has been doing a good job. I seen them run a lot of those screen plays last week that they got for big yards, so see why they keep going to it.
Burke, handoff, Nelson. No, he keeps it himself. Not enough for, they already picked up the first down, so that'll bring up second down. Pick up of maybe a yard.
Bringing the ball back again. What was the call on this?
Another holding. It's got to be 3 or 4 holdings on the Mustangs here just in the first quarter.
They got to watch that today. They don't want to get caught up, because of penalties. Great field position turned into all right field position.
Yeah, we've seen that happen to them earlier.
First and forever.
The trickery.
The throw, Garcia outside. Nice move as he's still on his feet down inside the 10-yard line. A great gain and a great play call by Miles King and these Rodriguez Mustangs.
What a move by Mr. Garcia, number 3. Man, he made that defender fall with that hard step out.
Broke his ankles right there.
Yeah, the junior, Andreas Garcia, he had a touchdown last week against Vacaville. Towards the end of the game, he broke one loose for about a 25-yard touchdown. This time, setting his team up great as they're right around that 5-yard line, knocking on the door to put up 6 more points.
Looks like they got a heavy package in now, brought all the receivers in. There's some more bigs in there.
Nobody out wide right now.
Yeah, they're in a full house.
Yeah, looks like about 4 guys in the backfield.
Yeah, it looks like Bentley Williams and Damani Nelson. And what looks like
The 2 tight end set.
Yeah. And it's a handoff. Williams cuts the outside, walks in to the end zone for another Mustang touchdown.
And I think that's really where he wanted to run. They've been going to the outside the entire time. They brought the heavy package in, but I think he still wanted to get to the outside and use his speed. Beautiful play design. 2 plays back to back.
I believe they did a great job to this drive after having a penalty and going back, still finding a way to find themselves in the end zone tonight.
Yeah, great play by Garcia, getting all those yards back after the penalties. And Bentley Williams, another great play call, like you said, Zay, as they stacked the front, or thinking they'd rush it up the middle. Instead, they stay to the outside. That one just sneaks inside for an extra point. So it's 14-0 with 17 seconds left to go here in the first quarter.
See if this offense for the Fairfield can make some noise. They got to get it rolling. Their defense is actually doing a pretty good job.
They have been put in some bad spots so far, too, especially on their side of the 50.
Yep. And Rodriguez Mustangs, they've been getting set up pretty good as well.
So Rod getting ready to kick off once again.
Looks like they're having a little fun over there on the Fairfield side. Hopefully that fun can turn to some points.
Here's Arias getting ready. Ref making sure the ball stays on the stand right there. And the kick, it's a little squib into the hands of the up man, and he's gonna pitch it. And interesting decision right there, as it does work out for the Falcons, but down 14-0, I'm not sure if I'm pitching the ball on a kickoff.
I think that might have been Coach Alex Herbert's idea.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Mustangs, they don't want to kick the ball to the Fairfield's athletes. They're trying to keep it away from them every single time. I think Coach Herbert was like, hey, if you get that rock, toss it back to somebody that can make it play.
You may be right on that one. So 10 seconds here left in the first quarter. Duncan in the backfield. Nolan in shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands it off. Eric Duncan quickly brought down by Cromie and Gresham. And that'll be the last play of the first quarter. So they will have to flip it around and as we get ready for the second quarter.
And that's the end of the first quarter.
Pretty exciting first quarter so far. Had a couple big plays, had a couple penalties. Going into the second quarter, you know, I hope we can have a couple more big plays. See Fairfield get some action in the end zone. See Rod keep doing what they're doing and just tighten it up with the discipline.
Definitely. Both teams started off the game a little sloppy with the ball, but I think they're starting to take care of it a little bit more, polish things up.
Yeah, I think Rodriguez's play calling so far in this game has been much better than it was last week against Vacaville. Seemed like once they got down, they just immediately averted to the passing game, went 5 wide for basically the whole second half. But this time they're establishing that run game. So, you know, if the run stops working, or even if the run is working, they could still go to the play action like they have before and had some success with that as well. Always nice when your run game gets going early.
It just opens up everything, right?
Yeah.
it's been nice seeing them get the ball to their playmakers too. Not, Leroy Bryant got a lot of catches last week, but this week it seems like they're spreading it around.
Yeah.
Creating more opportunities for everyone.
Leroy Bryant was clearly the main focal point for the offense, but on defense he was dropping back as a safety because he was getting used so much in the punt return, kick return, and as a receiver.
Yep.
Now we see him one-on-one as a cornerback where he's at his best.
Right.
Fumbled snap. Running back going to have to drop on it. That's Eric Duncan, so that'll be a loss of 4. Down at the 30-yard line.
Seen a couple of both teams so far. Might be something that we work on in practice this week.
So this is the 3rd and 19. Three out right and 1 to the left of Isaiah Nolan. Running back in the backfield. And this one is low and almost caught by Josh Tucker again on that slant route. Just out of the reach, and I'm sure Tucker wants that one back. Had his hands on that one.
Yeah, another pretty good ball. He got his hands on the last 2 balls that came his way and couldn't bring neither one in.
I mean, Mr. Nolan has been on the money ever since that first pass in the first quarter. Honestly, the receivers just got to help him out, like I said earlier. They got to make some plays for him when he puts it on them.
That's right.
So the Falcons are going to have to punt this one away once again. Backed up at their own 30-yard line. No, they're going to fake it. Punter trying to get outside, and he's immediately met by Zach Carvalho, as the punter only picked up about 4 yards on that one, and that'll be a turnover on downs.
Here we go with Rod starting off with great field position again. See if they can make something happen with this. Take advantage.
It's pretty early in the game. I'm not even mad at Coach for that decision right there. Hopefully it doesn't come back to bite him in the butt.
We've seen Fairfield get a stop here before on Rodriguez when they were knocking on the door of the end zone and had to settle for that field goal that was just missed. And here's the run. Nelson tried to get inside, bounce outside, and eventually is dropped right around the line of scrimmage.
They're playing with some spirit, man, flying around, like I said.
Yeah.
They're on everything right now, Like you said, they got to stop here earlier. They got 2. They got a takeaway in the end zone, too.
Yep.
Mr. Josh Tucker, number 2, which was an amazing play, Hopefully they can get another one, get the ball back for their offense, and make something happen.
Tucker lined up on Garcia, who's already had a couple big plays so far. Drop back, Burke over the top. He's looking for Leroy Bryant. It's almost picked off just out of the hands of Romeo Orchiado. Burke might have had a little too much float on that one and a little short from Leroy Bryant, who was sprinting upfield.
I know he wants that one back.
That one almost got me a little excited, man. I was just talking about them playing defense back here and getting a takeaway.
Yeah.
I was hoping they could get another one.
The defense is playing good, man.
Number 12, Romeo Urquiaga on the play. I mean, he played the ball pretty well. Just got to grab that one, bring that one to your chest.
Got to bring that one in.
3rd and 10, Burke. And it's caught by Garcia, puts on a nice move, and we'll see if he can stretch for the gain. We'll see how they place it here. He's right at that 24-yard line.
I think they're going to give it to him.
Depends on the placement, and I think that one's good.
Looking like Rod's about to open up the playbook a little bit. Let Dylan Burke, number 8, let his arm loose a little bit.
First down, Mustangs.
And timeout. Fairfield, I believe.
Pretty good timeout. Got to settle your defense down.
I like how Rod bounced back after that almost interception. Got a first down on the very next play. Let's see if the defense for Fairfield can bounce back, get a takeaway. I would love to see it. Love to get a spark for this sideline, get the offense going, get everybody excited.
This is a big opportunity for Fairfield to get a stop. Already down 14-0. Going down 3 scores before half might be a little rough for them, but
I mean, they just got to get a little
time in the game. Yeah, they got to steal the momentum.
Plenty of time left in this quarter to make something happen. If the defense is able to get off the field right now, with even just a field goal, that's a big stop.
Hoping to see the front seven for the Fairfield Falcons gain some leverage against Rod. Hopefully get in the backfield, like you said, 0 sacks. I would like to see them get a sack, maybe dial up some pressure right now.
Yeah.
2 receivers to the right and 1 in the slot, 1 outside to the left for Dylan Burke. He's going to drop back and he's going to try to run, and there he goes. He's down.
There it is.
The first sack of the season. Cobb's all over that one.
Yes, sir. You know, I'm excited for that one. I just spoke about it. I'm glad to see them get back there. Hopefully they can do it a couple more times. That changes the game for a team.
Bring some energy. Every single sack, that's a big play. It's almost like a home run for football.
It looks like they're going to call it down right at the line of scrimmage, so we'll see how they write it down in the stat book, but
hopefully they give it to
less to sack in our stat book. Handoff, Nelson cuts back up the middle. Nice cut again, and he's eventually down. And it looks like he had enough to pick up the first down, as there's also an injured Falcon on the field.
Nelson doing a good job running through arm tackles right there.
Yeah, he hit that gap with some ferocity, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He runs hard, man. I noticed that last week, and this week he's doing much of the same.
First down, Mustangs.
Looks like Jeff Carr, number 1, a little banged up for the Falcons. We'll see if he can stay on the field here.
He's staying in there.
Mustangs trying to get to the line here.
Hope he's okay, but I love to see the grit.
Burke in the gun. Garcia, handoff. Nelson with the lead block, and not much room to go. Maybe a gain of 1 yard on that one.
Thought Carr was hurt, but there he did. Just came in and made a great tackle right there.
Still making plays.
That's how you suck it up, show some heart.
Exactly, that's a sign of heart right there. Arguably the most important thing in football and all the sports. You gotta have heart.
Comes first.
That kid's tough.
2nd and 9 from the 11-yard line. Snap is back. Burke is gonna fumble. This one's loose.
Strip sack.
And they're gonna call it Falcons football.
Falcons, man, there they go on defense, flying around.
The defense came to play tonight.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. That's the second takeaway over here on their side, man. They're keeping their offense in it. I love to see it, love to see it.
Give them a chance every single time. Let's see if they can make some magic spark right now.
Huge strip sack right there. As it looks like it was Khalil Carpenter, number 32.
Is that the second sack?
Second sack in the all season, and it's coming the same game.
Same drive.
Same drive.
Playing with some heart today, man.
2 sacks in 3 plays, I believe. Here's Nolan. Let's see if this offense can get it going. Nolan dropping back, and I'm not sure if that's gonna.
That was honestly pretty smart.
Yeah.
You know, instead of taking the sack, that keeps them at the, you know, still where they're at, and you know, that was pretty smart. It's like an NFL thing.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any right there.
I don't believe there's any intentional grounding in high school, so yeah, that's a hell of a play.
Good play there.
Way to be
That
on
was
his toes.
immediately first thing that came to my head is that looked like intentional grounding, but I may be wrong on that one. Clearly, refs did throw the flag. So 2nd down, Nolan does a great job avoiding the sack, getting that one out of his hand, as he was in serious trouble with multiple Mustangs around. Here's the run up the middle. Nowhere to go. This run game has been stuffed at the line.
Say number 5, Trevor Cromie, been in the backfield all game, or if he's not in the backfield, he's meeting you at the line of scrimmage every time. Doing a great job not going back and making sure that first step is forward every time.
Seems like Cromie has been all over the football so far here through about 18 minutes of play.
We're honestly seeing a lot of great defense so far.
Yeah.
Good defense and some good offensive play calling as well. Seen some creativity from Rodriguez, and we'll see if the Falcons can get some creativity going here, as he might get dropped. No, he will. And he lost the football, but not before it's out of bounds. Gabriel Betrez with the shoelace tackle from behind. Dropped him for the sack.
Rodriguez might have caught a little breakout right there. They were a little bit out of sorts. They had people flying around when the ball was already being snapped. Could have got ugly right there.
So here's 4th down as they're going to bring out the punt unit. And they will actually punt it this time, as it'll hop right in Leroy Bryant's hands. We'll see what he can do with it. No, not Leroy Bryant. That's Jeffrey Missouri, excuse me. Jeffrey Missouri back there with Jeremiah Hill. Excuse me, sorry, the 7 and the 1 are a little confusing for me.
It's the wrinkles, you know, the wrinkle in the jersey. I sometimes
You're right, I gotta look for that.
Missouri came to play tonight.
Yeah.
He's balling.
Rod's playmakers just have been making, like playmakers. They've been making plays all day.
Yep.
The secondary, the linebacking core, I mean, really everyone. Rodriguez has looked great so far, as this is a run to Bentley Williams, as he just does not want to go down. Eventually will, as it takes 4 to 5 Falcons to bring him down, but not before he picks up a 1st down.
They might want to do that a couple more times.
Yeah, Fairfield's interior might be breaking down a little bit. It was only a 4 and out last time, and the defense just got off the field. It's tough.
Chew some clock with the lead, as they're going to fake the run. They're getting aggressive. This one, Garcia caught, and he's going to try to pick up as much yards as he can, as he's right around the 1st down marker. Garcia has been great so far here in the 1st half.
Yeah, he seems to be making a lot of the plays. If they didn't take that 1 touchdown away from him early, he's been doing a lot. He would have a touchdown and a couple big gains, a couple 1st downs for them. Yeah. Seems to come in when you need him.
It looks like they gave him the 1st down on that play as well. Gonna set him up about 1st and 3.
Yeah, he's got to be around 5 catches for 75-plus yards so far for Garcia. He had a big 30-yard gain in the 1st quarter. Here's Burke. Bentley Williams in the backfield. And there's Jeremiah Hill on the sweep. He's trying to get to the outside and is dropped. Great play right there.
Beautiful.
Looked like that was Jamal Williams, number 6.
Way to maintain the edge, young fella. He came up and made a great play. I think they might start to recognize that play. I think that's like the 4th or 5th time they've tried to do that sweep.
We'll see if they try to fake that motion. Every time you see that receiver in motion, every time it's a handoff. So maybe you fake the motion and hand it off to the running back, try to get the defense on their toes.
Or maybe go with the bootleg, because
quarterback
showed the speed.
Yeah.
There's a few different ways you can run that, the different
under center now.
Here's the run.
Right up the gut.
Right up the gut, as you just said, Randall right there, and he is stopped just short of the goal line. Might be down at the 2-yard line.
Good job getting the yards back after that loss. Hopefully they could punch it in right here. I would like to see Fairfield stand strong, though.
They got 2 backs in the backfield. This time it's Nelson. He's going to push forward.
Brought him down.
Just short.
That
so
Fairfield defense.
Stop. What do you do here?
I think you got, You don't want to be the Seattle Seahawks. You got to run it. You know, you got to do that handoff. I know Fairfield's defense is holding strong right now, but you got to trust your big man up front and, you know, trust that they can get the leverage and get you that yard.
Or a little boot, find Betrez in the back of the end zone.
Timeout by Fairfield.
He does have 7 total touchdowns on the year, Mr. Betrez, number 2.
We haven't seen him on offense much last week and this week, although he is, I believe, 3rd on the team in yards and 2nd in receptions. And 1st in touchdowns, like you said, 7 touchdowns. Clearly a red zone threat.
I mean, he is a pretty big guy, man. Just looking from out here, you know, you can see he can go in sky and go get one.
Yep.
If you put it up there for him. I do want to see, I kind of want to see Fairfield get a stop right here again.
Yeah.
Keep that energy going for them, you know. They've been doing a great job.
This one could get out of control if we see 21 zip here in the first half. So we'll see if Fairfield can make a huge stand here. 4th and goal. Burke gonna hand it off. Nelson gets in there. He runs it right up the gut. So another touchdown for the Rodriguez Mustangs as they take a 20-0 lead here in the first half.
They didn't want to beat Seattle. They had to give it to their beast mode. Number 23, man, Mr. Nelson. He's a tough runner.
Oh, yeah.
Puts that head down, lowers his shoulders, and goes straight downhill.
He hits that hole with the mentality that you're going to have to bring your whole team to stop me.
Yep. So Nelson with his first touchdown of the game. Rodriguez spreading it out a little bit. Oh, this one might be blocked. No, it is good. Was worried. Falcons looked like they had a good jump on that, but
yeah, I don't think Dante Williams realized he was right there to be able to make the play.
On the other note, though, Arias has a leg on him.
oh yeah.
That 30-yarder seems pretty simple. If, you know, the wind's picking up, sending everything right, now left for him. I think he can maybe go from 35, maybe 40.
He had the distance from 35 for sure. We'll see how much he can learn from this wind based off the missed field goal. Maybe he can adjust it based off of how windy it is.
I would love to have him as my kicker on my team, my fantasy team right now.
Yeah, he has a boot, but every single time they kick it, they try to keep it away from these athletes. I wonder if that'll change here.
Yeah, it seems like Rodriguez has not really cared about the field position battle as they're going for these squibs, and there it is again. And looks like past the 30. Oh, he's got some room, but eventually dropped at the 40-yard line. Great return from Jeff Carr.
And he's been making some plays ever since we thought he was injured. He might have heard us and was like, you know, I'm going to show you.
I think the Mustangs just really trust their defense. They don't mind just giving the ball they don't mind giving the Fairfield Falcons the ball at the 35, 40-yard line every single time.
I would trust my defense too after they got 2 takeaways, you know, and they've been flying around. They have a lot of athletes on the edge too, especially at cornerback and safety with Leroy Bryan and Missouri back there. They got Jeremiah Hill on the other side too.
Yeah, Bentley Williams, Zach Carvalho, the other corners. This looks like more of a nickel look. This one, handoff as he is eventually dropped. Pickup of 1 yard for Carpenter.
He's a pretty big back.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Looks like he's the biggest guy in that squad right now on the field. Derrick Henry.
Second down and 10 here for the Falcons. Down 21-0 with 3 minutes left here in the first half. Clock is rolling. Let's see if the Falcons can get something rolling, some momentum here to close out the half and go into the next half with some optimism. Rolling out, Nolan tries to cut back. Picks up a couple yards before he's eventually dropped. Let's see how much hustle they have right here. The clock rolling.
I would like to see the Falcons open their playbook up just a little bit. Maybe take a couple more shots. You know, they only took one shot earlier. They haven't gone back to it. I know it is kind of windy, but right now with the run game and how Mr. Cromie and Malik are in the backfield and covering those gaps, they might want to look to go over top one time, just to keep them honest.
Yeah, if they can get it out quick. Rodriguez Mustangs defense been getting back there fast.
Yeah, Gresham and Betrez on the outside are just bull rushing right now. These outside tackles for the Falcons. Big back still in the backfield. Number 32, Carpenter. Here's a snap. Nolan got some time. He's rolling out, and he's going to throw it.
Dirted it.
Just wanted to avoid the sack right there.
Yeah, it's a smart play, but at the same time, you would like to see him just give his receivers a chance on third down.
Let him go make a play on that ball.
Yeah, the kickers are back out there again. It doesn't really hurt to try to give your receiver a chance.
Minute and 5 seconds left to go here in the first half. We'll see if the Falcons punt this one away, as they're going to run someone on the field last second here.
Delay game.
Yeah.
Or was it a false start?
Calling it a false start. Looked like someone moved once Carpenter was running back on the field. So this will make this punt even more difficult. And with 54 seconds, Rod could try to get greedy here. Leroy Bryant back there.
Yep.
Along with Jeremiah Hill. Timeout, Rod, as they'll talk this one over. Maybe they want to save some clock. 48 seconds. A lot of clock just rolled on that last play right there.
Didn't even notice that. The clock doesn't stop on a penalty?
Yeah, it does.
It should.
It should. I'm not sure if it did, but it definitely should.
I don't think it did. We'll see if they adjust that.
And that was a smart timeout then by Rodriguez. Maybe they can get another score going into halftime. Stretch their lead a little bit.
Yep.
I believe Fairfield's avoiding getting the ball into Leroy Bryant's hands right now.
I agree. Well, I would bet they're going to try to kick this one to Hill to the left. And this one on a bounce, Bryant's going to take it himself. Some moves, and might have lost the football, lost his helmet.
I think Coach Hubbard is on the sideline pleading for a block in the back. Definitely some flags on the play.
Personal foul, face mask penalty called against Fairfield.
So a face mask penalty is the call. That'll give him some yards after the return.
Wouldn't be surprised if they go over the top first play then.
Yep, 36 seconds left. They got 2 timeouts, the Mustangs do. And they're right around the 50-yard line, so some good field position with Arias with a nice kick earlier, although he missed it. Clearly it showed the range. So I wouldn't be surprised if they could get this ball right around the 20-yard line. They might send him out there to make this a 4-score game. Burke looking for Garcia. Oh, great move as he gets to the outside and staying on his feet. He just won't go down. Eventually brought down after a pickup of roughly 20 yards right there by Garcia, who's having a monster first half.
Hard running by Garcia, but an even better read by quarterback number 8, Dylan Burke. Noticing that the safety went over, covering more toward Leroy Bryant's side of the field, leaving an opening for him on that side.
Yeah, and Garcia was able to find that soft spot in the zone and just settle down there. That's what he was able to make a move after that and get a couple tough yards after.
10 seconds. What are you doing here?
You gotta go end zone shot right here, and I'm finding a big body. I might go Betrez. If I can find Betrez in the end zone, I think he's the tallest receiver, him or Bryant. I don't know, Garcia has been electric so far too, so you know he's sure hands down there.
Been on fire.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right? Let's see what they draw up right now.
It looks like Leroy is coming to the short side of the field.
Yeah.
Let's see what he does. I think if he motions to the wide side of the field, he might get the rock. Oh, no, he's on the ball. He's not motioning.
Garcia out wide to the right. Soft coverage to the right and some press on Bryant here. Fakes the pitch, and he's going up top. Leroy Bryant, this one's too high and through the back of the end zone.
Fairfield's bringing almost 3 to Leroy Bryant's side. The safety came over to guard the slot, and they brought the other safety over, shading to his side. But they seem to leave their man and all go for him.
3 seconds left, so they have enough time for one more play here. Looks like they're going to keep the offense out on the field.
I'll go with the hook and ladder. Hit Garcia, you know, toss it and get a yard. I mean, they've ran it a couple times already, gotten good yards on it. I don't know if they would be expecting that.
Yeah, we'll see if Miles King has something dialed up here. Again, fakes the handoff.
Let it go.
Letting it go out of bounds. Leroy Bryant had the positioning, but ran out of room. So that'll do it here for the first half. Rodriguez with the commanding 21-0 lead over the Fairfield Falcons. We will be back for the beginning of the second half coming up.
The exponential growth from the program from my first year to my third year now, that's what keeps me coming back and keeps me excited and just like fulfills me as a person.
It's so impressive, and we every time we walk in here, you guys are doing something different. It's great. It's
nothing but opportunities here, and we have sports to cover, we have the equipment.
Because the more ambitious you are, the more opportunities you'll have.
On-the-job training is huge.
You get the hands-on experience.
When someone asks who can do it, you know, you can raise your hand and say, I can do it, so.
Joining the class was the best decision I ever made.
Going to go to cut one. And cut one. Cross court to Audrey Jones. Audrey for 3. And it's good! With 1.3 seconds left on the game clock. Audrey Jones with one of the biggest shots ever.
The sky's the limit, really, with what we can do here.
College just got affordable. Up to 100% of enrollment fees can be reimbursed for first-time college students taking full-time classes. At Solano Community College, we are taking full advantage of this to further your future. With certificate and degree programs in industrial technology, aeronautics, biotechnology, and many others, Solano Community College is a staple for success. For more information, please contact the Financial Aid Office at 707-864-7000.
welcome to another episode of On Campus here at Solano College Sports Network. My name is Garrison Glenn, here with my special guest, Jonathan Cobbs.
Yes, sir.
And my first question for you is, we know that you're here for basketball, but my question is, where did it all start for you?
Well, for me, basketball started when I was young. I was like, the first word I ever said was ball.
Oh, wow.
Like, I ain't gonna say it was basketball, football, or soccer,
Right,
you know
right.
what I mean? But it was ball, so like, I always had a passion for sports.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was young, like, my brothers would go outside and they would hoop. They would hoop against each other because they were around the same age, and I'm like super young. And that's where I was like, man, like, I want to play.
You want to play.
You know what I mean? I want to be like my older brothers. Like, I want to get buckets. And so, I even had a book that was like, take that ball to the hoop. My mom wrote a little song on there. It had pictures of me. I used to go to sleep with the ball. I used to take baths with the ball.
Oh, dang.
Like, I really love basketball. You know what I'm saying? So, as I got older, it turned into like more of a passion.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't say like my determination and drive was there yet.
Right.
But like, I was like, man, I really love this sport. Like, so it was like, and I want to say like middle school, because to tell you the truth, I also love football. So
Okay.
like, I love football. Like,
Was there a specific position that you wanted to play? Or just
what? I
loved the
played
game?
quarterback and linebacker.
Okay.
They threw me at safety a couple times,
Uh-huh.
but I'm kind of slow. So
Oh,
it's
for
like,
real?
if you are fast, and I'm the last line of defense, you gone. That's a touchdown. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right, right.
I ain't catching you. I'm not hawking nobody down. But what changed for me was when I got to high school, I started out at Wilsey Wood.
Okay.
And my freshman year, I played quarterback and I played linebacker. And I got sacked about 7 to 8 times a game.
Yeah, you said nah. You said
I said,
yeah, I'm cool.
this is gonna risk my basketball career. I'm gonna get injured. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done with this. So I put football to the side and I focused just mainly on basketball. And like, that's where it starts from, is my childhood, watching my brothers. And then from there, it just built playing every day for years. You know what I mean? It's
Gotcha.
like, it's the only thing I know. And Kobe, you know, you ever
Kobe.
see, man, 2009 champ. Come on now.
Yeah, it seems
Come
like
on
Kobe's
now.
everyone's goat.
2010, 2011. Come on now. Come on now. He's a
Either
boy.
Kobe or Bron, yeah, that's crazy.
Nah,
man.
forget Bron. It's
Nah,
Kobe.
forget Bron. Dang, that's crazy.
I'm just saying.
But and did you finish your high school career off at Wilsey Wood or
No,
nah?
so I ended up transferring after my sophomore year
Okay.
to Vanden High School, and I transferred because I played freshman year at Wood. I played JV.
Okay.
I'm not gonna say I was raw. Like, I was all right then. I had talent, but like, I never worked on my skill, so like, I wasn't really nothing was refined. I didn't know who I was.
Right.
But going into my sophomore year, I worked hard. Like, I was trying to be on varsity. So I would wake up 5 in the morning every day, go to the Croc Center in Sassoon,
Oh yeah.
get workouts in with some people in the area might know him, Bracy. My boy Coach Bracy, he does Team Rampage. So I would meet him at the Croc 5 in the morning. And the reason I ended up transferring is I played my whole sophomore year. They put me on JV. I averaged like 30 a game.
Dang.
And it was like, the reason they weren't pulling me up was like, you're not playing hard. I don't got to play hard. Like, it was too easy at that time. I worked way harder than all these kids that I'm playing against. And what happened was, they pulled me up for playoffs. And I didn't think I was going to play. Because I'm like, you ain't played me all year. You did make me practice with y'all. Like, I did 2 practices a day, but you ain't pulled me up all year. Why would I play?
Right.
Get to the playoff game, put me in, I'm unprepared, never been at varsity speed. I played the whole game. Just about. Like, I sat out for maybe 10 minutes. Never played varsity before. I had like 7 points and like 5 assists. And I was like, man, like, you really just set me up for failure.
Yeah.
Like, I had no idea this was gonna go this way.
Right.
And I also, I didn't set myself up to succeed by, thinking in my head, like, I'm not about to play. I wasn't ready for the moment. And so what ended up happening was that summer we came back, and I guess he didn't like the way I played in that playoff game, and he brought a freshman in and was gonna start him over me.
Oh, you said that was it.
I was like, yeah, that's the last straw. Like, first you didn't pull me up, then you did that to me in the playoffs, and now you saying a freshman that we've never seen play varsity is better than me? I was like, I worked too hard for that. So I ended up transferring and going to Vanden, and they went against it, so I ended up having to sit out like the whole junior season, and that kind of sucked. It, really was like a depressing moment for me because, you just want to play.
Yeah.
Like, especially at that age, it was like, dang, like, I was going through a lot at the moment, but I ended up pulling through. In the next year, my senior year, I averaged like 20 a game. It was going crazy and was like, man, like, this could have already happened. Like, I could have did this my junior year.
Yeah, you could have been done that.
But that's like the whole backstory is they tried to start a freshman over me without ever seeing him play. And I was like, there's no, like, I'm not going to sit here and stand for this disrespect. Like, I work hard. And Vanden actually was like the best choice I ever made. So.
And from that moment, or from going to Vanden to transferring to the college level, how has that been for you?
Actually, I thought going from high school to college, it would be like, wow, this is a big difference. The speed is different, everybody's bigger, but it actually seemed, maybe because I'm more mature now,
right.
it seems about the same for me. I'd give you my perspective. Like, yeah, everybody's a little bigger and they're a little faster, but when it comes to putting the ball in the basket, you could do it the same way.
Same way.
For me, I'm a shooter, so come off handoffs, get to my shot.
Pick and roll.
Pick and roll, one dribble, pull up, get to my floater. Like, just get to my spots,
Right.
And so I learned that in high school. Going into my senior year, I learned getting to my spots. And so that carried over into the college game, which for me, I had a pretty good freshman season. And that is, I'll say why, is because I know how to get to my spots.
Okay. And looking towards this next upcoming season, you had an injury pretty bad throughout most of the season last year. How's that going to affect you mentally and physically going into this year?
Yeah, so last year before the season started, I found out I had a bad hip. Like, I hurt my right hip.
Right.
Probably shouldn't say that. Everybody gonna watch this, But I hurt my right hip, and it was like a non-contact injury that no matter what I did over the years of just me putting in a lot of work, the injury was gonna happen. And so for me, like, playing that whole season through that injury was kind of hard, but it like taught me like I could get through a lot. Like, perseverance is crazy. Like, as long as I just keep pushing, like, I could get through whatever God puts in front of me.
Right.
And what really has helped me is that going through that, I made it through, and I had an all right season where my averages, they speak for themselves. But now, like, coming off of surgery, it's like I'm just ready to work.
Okay.
Like, I think it actually was probably the best thing for me because it turned my passion up and made my drive and determination to be that much better at basketball go through the roof. Now I feel like if I don't work out and get up 250 makes in a day, I feel like I don't want to be good. Like, I don't want to be the best on the floor at all times. You know what I mean? So, like, it has really made me want to be a better person and player all around. Like, I want to be better in my scholastics. I want to be better with sports. I want people on my team to look at me and be like, he's the best. Like, there's no doubt. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I'll say it changed my mental and made me, like, turn up, kind of, per se. Like, you know what I mean? Like, turn up my workouts, turn up my drive, turn everything up to 100, where before I was at 50. You know what I'm saying?
So you feel energized, you feel ready to go, and everything.
I just feel ready to get better. Like,
okay.
Even if per se, I were to have to redshirt this year, medically redshirt because of the surgery that I went through, it wouldn't bother me, because I know that when I come back next season, it'll be that much worse for everybody. You know what I mean?
That.
Like, it's just because the way I am right now, by the time, if in a year from now, I'm gonna be way better than what I am right now.
Right, exactly. You're making improvements over the time.
Yeah, so I would say that like, it kind of helped me. It has helped me, like, helped me see life differently and see who I am differently. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. I like that. And good luck to you for the rest of the season. And that's all the time that we have for right now. And this has been an episode of On Campus at Solano College Sports Network. I'm Garrison Glenn with Jonathan Cobbs, and thank you for watching.
Yes, sir.
All right, and welcome back for the start of the second half as Fairfield will kick this one off since Rodriguez deferred to start the game. So Rod with a dominant first half, up 21-0, and they're getting the ball right back here. So great position for the Mustangs. Fairfield going to have to try to claw their way back into this one. A kick, and it is muffed by Jeremiah Hill. He'll pick it up, tries to get to the right hash, and now he's over by the sideline and is eventually brought down.
For Rod, I would like to see the offense do much of the same. You know, I don't see them changing anything right now. They're probably going to still look to get to the edge and find their playmakers, especially Garcia, who's been having a day. And for the defense for Fairfield, I mean, they've been holding strong. They've just been put in a couple bad situations, but they've actually done their job up to this point.
Yeah, Andreas Garcia with probably 6 receptions for 100-plus yards so far. Although he doesn't have a touchdown, he's had a great performance. The #1 receiver right now for the Mustangs so far.
Rod's been doing a great job. Falcons playing kind of soft coverage, playing back, so they've been doing a good job just hitting the hook.
Yeah, a lot of zone defense so far from the Falcons, leaving some open spots. Here's a screen, Bryant, and immediately met. Great tackle right there from Dante Williams, the cornerback.
That was a big hit. He came in and laid that shoulder down.
Yes, sir.
That's what you want to see. You know, you're down 21-0, but you're still coming out with some intensity. That's pretty nice. Maybe a good look for the Fairfield Falcons this half.
Looked like he worked right through that block. I believe that was from Jeremiah Hill.
Correct.
Williams snuffed that one out. Speaking of snuff, that one hits the ground, but Nelson able to pick it up, although they do lose some yards on the play. So Rod going backwards. Good start from this Falcon defense here in the second half.
Yeah, they came out with some intensity in the second half.
Third and long, around 3rd and 15 to go. Looks like Donovan Schroep, #6, will come in. We'll see if Rod goes to a 5 wide here. Nope, they're gonna have one in the backfield. They're gonna motion him out. Burke, across to Hill, and he dropped it.
That's unlike him.
Well short of the first down, but might have had some room to go after the catch, but we will never find out. Now 4th and 15 as they bring out the punt unit.
I know that's one he would like to have back. Usually Jeremiah Hill is a short-handed receiver.
I believe he was already looking upfield. Just let it go right through his hands real quick. He was already looking to make a big play.
Yeah.
Josh Tucker back for the Falcons. Ready to return this one by himself back there.
Hopefully, I would like to see Fairfield actually send some pressure here. Maybe get a punt block. They got one on the season. Maybe they can get a second one now and score a touchdown off of that. Be a great look for the team right now.
Oh, they had an opportunity.
Just missed it.
Wow.
And a short punt. There's a flag in the backfield.
Now, if I'm the Fairfield Falcons, I'm hoping this is just a running into the kicker and not a roughing the kicker.
Yeah. I think it might be roughing, though.
Yeah, we'll see what the refs decide here. It's more of a judgment call.
If it is a roughing, that's terrible for the defense. You did a great job getting them off the field and then put you back on for another 4, maybe more downs.
Yep, roughing the kicker. It's going to be an automatic first down.
Free first down for the Mustangs. So a big mistake right there for the Falcons. Almost had the 3 and out coming out of the half.
Yeah.
Would have killed some momentum from the Mustangs and brought some for the Falcons. Instead, they're going to have to keep grinding here on defense against this electric Mustang offense with a bunch of playmakers all around.
It was a great job getting to him. You know, you just got to have the discipline to hold up. But on the flip side, I mean, it's kind of what you need right now is just that intensity and that aggressiveness when you're down 21-0. So I kind of like to see. I like to see it from them.
Jimmy Green trying to control the defense, get them lined up correctly.
D-line playing on their knees. Now they're up. Throwing. There's Leroy Bryant with some room. Yes, he gets to the outside and out of bounds after he picks up the first down and gets across the 50-yard line.
They found some with those curl routes.
Yeah.
They're playing back. They keep getting them with it.
And that's tough. Jimmy Green is getting on his teammates right now because he needs them to get lined up correctly, and he can't get everybody lined up correctly and then drop back into his hook to curl. So he's doing a lot right now.
Yeah, Jimmy Green leading the team with 24 tackles and 2 tackle for loss as he's in on that one. No, excuse me, that's 65, not 55. Nonetheless, Damani Nelson stopped in the backfield.
And another stop for loss.
Number 65, Aiden Vig on the
Aiden
tackle,
Vig.
my man. He's been doing a good job. Him and 77, Jordan Thomas, of kind of controlling the front. They haven't been really able to get too many yards on the ground. A lot of things coming over the air.
Yep, or across the edge, running to the outside. Clearly a game plan for Miles King to not go at this front D line, maybe the front 7 in general. As again, handoff gets to the outside. He's got some room. Jeremiah Hill will walk out of bounds just shy of the first down.
There's that speed we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, the Mustangs know they just have too much speed on their side of the ball for the Falcons to keep up with.
May have some of the most speed in the MEL.
I think so easily.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there. Nelson stopped in his tracks. Great play by Jordan Thomas, number 77, as you were just talking about his name, Jonathan. He shows up big right there, bringing up a 4th down.
And that's not a small person right there.
Oh, no.
He's a pretty big guy.
Yeah, I don't think he was breaking that tackle.
Yeah.
Can't blame him.
I love what I'm seeing from the sideline here, though, for Fairfield. The coaches have been trying to hype them up.
Yeah,
trying
they
to
got
get
a
that
lot of
spirit.
energy.
Yeah, young staff trying to induce some energy.
Fourth down, maybe dial up some pressure. Might be looking for that curl again.
Yeah, watch Bryant and Garcia. Jeremiah Hill, too, might have a curl in front, and I think they're going to call false start. And they will. False start on the offense, so that'll back them up 5. Making this now a 4th and long. Around a 4th and 11.
So this is the second time the Falcons were able to get the Rodriguez Mustangs to 4th down on this drive. Let's see if they can have a better outcome on this punt attempt.
Yeah, all that yards made Miles King bring out the punt unit. I think that's a good play. You're up 21-0. Don't want to, get too risky. You could throw a pick or even a turnover on downs. Might as well trust the punter, get some good field position, make Fairfield go the distance.
Yep.
Proud of that Fairfield defense, man.
Oh, yeah, they're playing with some heart.
Josh Tucker back there. High snap. Almost got the block. And it's going to bounce. And they're going to let it roll right around the 23-yard line. So a nice punt. About a punt of 25 yards. Flips the field position. So Fairfield going to have to go 77 yards if they want to get to the end zone.
And again, Jimmy Green almost was able to block that punt. I think if he stretches out, he's there. He's in a great position every single time.
Yeah, they've had multiple close calls on that blocked on these punts. They're squeezing and just coming up short.
You can tell he learned his lesson, too. He did not run into the punter that time. He did a good job holding up.
Might have slowed up a little too much that time, actually.
Might be because of that penalty.
Definitely. That was definitely lingering in his head.
Here's Nolan. He's going to hand it off and immediately tackled in the backfield. That's Gabriel Betrez with the tackle.
With the score what it is, I would like to see Fairfield take some chances this quarter. Let Isaiah Nolan, number 8, let his arm loose and try to make a couple plays over the top. I know we talked about the receivers helping him out. I believe you know, with maybe 1 or 2 good plays, they will.
I agree. Falcons want to keep a Rodriguez Mustangs defense, try to stay true, but at the same time, I feel you. I think they do need to start taking some shots.
Yeah, the Falcons with only 32 points on the season so far, so clearly some struggles on offense. Although they have 3 passing touchdowns on the season, all from Nolan. Seems like at this rate, they're going to have to try to air it out and test this secondary. And the snap is dropped, and he will get tackled in the backfield. Might have even lost the ball, but
I'll say he was down by contact.
Yeah, he's down. So a sack for the Mustangs. That'll bring up a 3rd and long.
And it's just tough because the Falcons defense is actually playing really good. They just got 2 stops on the same drive, and the offense just can't seem to get anything going.
That seems to be the story of the game. You know, their defense is holding up pretty strong, but after a while, it just starts to wear down on you, and that's why we see the score at 21. It was actually a hard-fought 21.
A hard-fought 21, definitely.
The field position right here is not that great.
Yeah, at the 15-yard line, they're going to have to go 20 yards to pick up a first, a reverse. Looked like a wide receiver pitch reverse, and that one you might want to erase from the playbook. That one was destroyed in the backfield.
Seemed to be snuck out by number 2, Gabriel Betrez, who I talked about earlier, man. He's he fires off that ball, he's coming straight uphill. If you don't trick him, he's on that.
I think the Mustangs are getting that backfield way too fast to try to reverse right now.
Yeah.
I think maybe a draw might hit him easier than a reverse.
Yeah, with the pass rush that Rodriguez has, a draw would be a perfect thing to do. The punt just gets it off. Missouri trying to come in. He dropped it, but eventually will come down on it. A little risky right there, trying to go in for that punt instead of just letting it bounce.
I would have let it bounce, personally.
Last thing I would do is cough up the football right now. With the lead and that field position.
That might be what they would have needed on the Fairfield side, too, to get them going.
I actually don't mind that from Mr. Missouri. You try to call the fair catch. You know, it's not always going to work the way you want to, but I actually like that as a returner for him to come in and try to field it.
Here's Berg with Williams in the backfield. And he's going to drop back to pass. He's looking for the end zone up top, and it's tipped. Great play by the cornerback, Jeff Carr.
Yeah, that was a great punch by Jeff Carr. He got that ball at the highest point, never allowed the receiver to get his hands on it.
He's been doing a great job back there, man, roaming around, just reading his eyes, finding out where he's going with that ball. He's playing his zone amazing.
He's had a few deflections so far in this one.
Split second faster, and that's an interception. Let's see if he can get one.
Yeah. Are you surprised Rod's throwing the football right there? First down?
No, I think they're trying to catch him off guard.
Okay.
They've ran most times on first down.
Here's play action. Berg.
Yeah, they're trying to
Wobbler,
take the shot.
Bryant. Oh, we caught it, but was he in bounds? No. He had to come back for that one, twisted his body around. Was a little contorted on that play, but it was just too far outside and led him out of bounds.
That's twice we've seen him make amazing plays that happen to just be real close and out of bounds. One at the end of the first half.
Yep.
And just there, a second earlier, that's probably a touchdown. Looks like they're trying to open that playbook up, though, and throw it through this wind a little.
They may be trying to work on some stuff moving forward, as they got Armio next week, and then they're going to play Wood and Vanden to finish out the season for Rod. So Wood and Vanden and Armio, those are going to be some interesting matchups. They're probably going to need to win out if they want a shot in the playoffs. And a great hit from number 32, Khalil Carpenter, as he gets the sack.
Falcons came to ball tonight. They have 3 sacks on the night.
3 of them, man. They're flying around, man.
I love to see it.
They might have heard you say that earlier. They've been all over the ball today.
Yeah, they might have heard me, huh? I got to start coming to the Falcon game more often. They balling out defensively.
3 sacks on the night for the Falcons. That'll bring up 4th down. It looks like Arias is setting up to kick a 47-yard field goal. This would be pretty far. This might be a career high. Right at that 30.5-yard line. That's a fake. Carvalho. And he's brought down by who else? Khalil Carpenter.
I think you were right when you said they might be trying things out this week.
Yeah.
You know, up 21-0, because I honestly thought they should have let Mr. Arias try that.
Go for it.
You know, that would have
47. That would have been impressive, especially with the wind right now. And I think he's got the leg for it.
Yeah, and for sure has the leg for it, man. If he would have made that, I think I would have got a little excited.
Yeah, excited on a special teams play. Don't see that very often.
I think it was just a low snap. I think they actually wanted to kick that ball.
You might be right.
Just a bad snap, and the
Had
holder
to
said
improvise.
fire.
Had to improvise.
Exactly.
Timeout.
Couple interesting signs in
A lot of passion from the home stands here at Rodriguez.
Wish my high school was like that. We didn't bring that much energy for our team, you know.
Yeah.
The culture must be different over here.
Yeah. They're bought in.
Happy to see it, you know.
12th man came out tonight.
Well, we did say they aren't like the Seahawks. They ran it on that 4th down.
It's true. Might have the next Legion of Boom right here.
Punched it in with Nelson. Got great secondary. I mean, I'd like to see them roar.
You guys might be on to something.
So the Falcons going to try to get something going here. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left on the clock here in the 3rd quarter. So still plenty of game to play here. Falcons are going to need to get it going soon, though, as Dawson's in the backfield and stops Carpenter in his tracks.
The linebacker crew with Trevor Cromie and Malik Dawson, they have been all over the field.
They're getting in that backfield tonight.
Shooting the gaps today, man.
He got his hand on that ball, too. He almost forced that ball out.
It looked like he was going for a suplex.
Yeah. Falcons getting ready here. 2nd and 11 as they lost 1 on that carry. Just over 1:30 left to go. Nolan, and he's hit. This one's up in the air, and a great defensive play by the receiver, Josh Tucker, as that ball was danger, and he sort of just ran in and got that one out of the way. Could have been a pick and potentially 6 more points for the Mustangs.
Definitely.
It was looking like 6 for number 6, Donovan Troop, man.
Yeah,
Exactly.
he was camped under that one.
Oh, it was a great heads-up play by Tucker right there.
That was 6, man. It was open on this sideline. That would have broke this game wide open.
Especially with the Falcons defense playing good too. That's exactly what the Rodriguez Mustangs needed. That was a great play. Good heads-up play.
Defense for sure holding up. I mean, coming into this 3rd quarter 21-0, and we might leave the 3rd quarter 21-0. So let's see if they can keep it like that through the 4th.
Nolan in shotgun. Duncan in the backfield. Low snap. Nolan with some time, letting it loose, and it's short. Might have been a comeback route, and Tucker wasn't on the same page. So that'll bring up 4th down. 4th and 11 for the Falcons. And I think they're bringing out the punt unit.
Seems they put Garcia back there instead of Jeremiah Hill. Maybe because he's having such a big game. Like to see him get the ball in his hands.
Yep. This one shanked out of bounds right around the 45-yard line. So that'll be a 15-yard punt for the Falcons. So again, great field position for the Mustangs on opponent's territory at the 45.
I could be mistaken, but it seems like the Fairfield High quarterback, Isaiah Nolan, came off the field and he was saying he's done. He's done. I was reading his lips, and that's what it looks like. It looks like he's trying to describe an injury to his teammates right now. He might be done for the night.
Yeah, we'll see how that develops. That would be very unfortunate for the Falcons. And hopefully this injury's not too serious. Burke, outside. Another fantastic route by Garcia as he's just been open all night.
Back to that curl route, man.
Yeah.
We spoke about it earlier. You want to keep playing off, we're just going to keep hitting you underneath. We'll take short gains of 8 and get our first downs and keep moving the chains.
Yeah, and these are 8-yard throws with receivers able to make a play out after the catch, picking up first downs. As looks like Keenan Jones is back there at quarterback. And a nice catch by Jeremiah Hill, led him up the field. He shakes off a defender, eventually tossed out of bounds.
Yeah, and that was a really nice ball by Jones right there. He hit the receiver in stride. The receiver was able to get his head turned around. Usually it's hard to do that on the screen pass. Yeah. He let him upfield. He was able to get his head around, make a move.
So senior Keenan Jones coming in right here, right before the 4th quarter. As he's going to go over the top, and he's got a receiver, and he will walk into the end zone. That is Kalen Highbaugh, his 2nd touchdown of the game.
And that was a dime.
That was a great pass.
That was beautiful. I told you guys last week, I like the way he gets that ball out.
Yeah.
He gets that ball out with some heat on it. Caught him in stride. It was easy.
And Keenan Jones helped almost lead that comeback for Rodriguez against Vacaville. They're down early, and Keenan Jones looked good once he came into the game. Tried to lead his team back, fell short, but right there you can see clearly some arm talent for the senior quarterback, Keenan Jones.
What did I say earlier? Oh yeah, he tattooed his chest with that ball.
Yeah. Arias, and it's no good. Wide left, apparently.
I may need glasses because I thought that went through.
I agree. I thought so too. It looked like the refs were looking at each other for a little bit, like not sure if it was good or no good.
Thought Fairfield was going to hold Rod to no scores in the 3rd quarter, but Rod just made a great drive. I mean, they had great field position to start off with. Put Fairfield in kind of a tough spot, but what a great pass by Keenan Jones to Kalen Highbaugh, and another score for them. Let's see if Fairfield could get some action right now.
.16 seconds left here in the 3rd quarter. We'll see if the Falcons can get something going. I sound like a broken record at this point, but still waiting on this Falcon offense to develop and get rolling.
Interested to see if Isaiah Nolan's going to come back on the field again. He's still right here talking to his quarterback coach with his helmet in his hand.
Squibb, returned by the punter.
He's going to pitch it.
And he's going to chip it, and there you go. The pitch, excuse me, almost a disaster as Carr will land on top of it.
I think he might have showed us that one earlier wasn't planned just now.
That's dangerous. You don't think it was planned? I think he showed us that it was planned.
I think they showed he was planned. It looked like
coach
the same
looks
play.
like they're telling him.
Oh, yeah.
To make a better decision, I don't think you can start running with the ball for 10 yards and then pitch it back and expect everything to go well.
The defense is too close, and it looked like
Yeah, you sound correct.
the whoever was behind him was a little too close for that hard of a pitch. So he just tossed it right at him.
With some heat on it, definitely.
Yeah.
A little bit of mustard on it.
Isaiah Nolan seems to be back in.
Yeah, Nolan in with 10 seconds left here in the third quarter. And he booched it. This one on the ground, picked up by Rod, and he will go down on it and has some frustration on this Fairfield sideline.
Yeah, Coach Hubbard just threw his hat at us. But it's okay.
So fumble by Fairfield. Now 2 seconds left here in the third quarter.
One play, they might be able to score one more time before the end of this third quarter before we hear the horn. Never mind.
And there it is. So now that we head to the fourth, I'm going to hand this off to Blake Molina. He will take over with the play-by-play, and soon I will head down to the field for a post-game interview with our player of the game.
Appreciate you,
Blake.
Cameron.
Appreciate you, fellas. Good job tonight.
All right, thank you. You have a good one.
Always.
Here you go, Blake.
All right, getting ready to start the fourth quarter. It's been chilly out here in Fairfield on a nice October Friday. Gentlemen, what have you liked so far? I know this has been a pretty one-sided game. Rodriguez has a very comfortable 27-0 lead. We have one more quarter of football, but what have you liked so far in this game?
I mean, Fairfield's defense, they've been showing a lot of heart throughout the game.
Yeah.
That's a hard-fought 27, honestly. They've been put in a couple bad situations. A little tired, I know, because they get them off the field, end up coming right back on. But, I mean, they've been a bright spot for me for this Fairfield Falcons team. And for Rod, I love how they're getting the ball to their playmakers, especially Garcia. Getting them the ball and letting them make plays in space.
They're making the game simple.
Yeah.
You don't have to overcomplicate the game. If you have the players, and all you have to do is get the ball in their hands and let them go to work, that's what they're going to do every night. Last week, they couldn't really do it so much with a tougher defense in the Vacaville Bulldogs, but tonight it seems like they're having their way on the outside of that edge.
Yeah, no doubt. And you said what I'm going to kind of talk about real quick before we start is if Rodriguez last week played this Fairfield team, I think this would be a different score. Fairfield's D has really shown heart, and this, like you said, Cobb's a very hard-fought 27-0 as they step back. And the tip is bobbled. Oh, looks like there's a flag. He was catching it out of bounds. Would have been spectacular if he stayed in play. But that one is not going to count, and there's a flag on the play for that. Looks like
I believe the defenses are both having success because they might play it against it in practice. Both teams seem to be in the pistol set, which allows you to be a little bit more comfortable when you go against it pretty often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both, Fairfield's D doesn't show, but, I mean, both defense we've talked about, they're playing tough. I don't want to say they're evenly matched because they're not. It would be a different scoring game. But, Fairfield is showing heart, and, if they do, as of right now, they're standing 0-6. Rodriguez is 3-3. Someone's going to have to win this game. It's looking right now as if Rod will take that victory unless they just have a crazy fourth quarter collapse with 11 minutes and 55 seconds left.
They look like they're on the verge of scoring, too, so, yep.
Keenan Jones stepping back in the pocket. Oh, the wind took that one out of bounds.
Looking to get the ball to number 1 Leroy Bryant. I would, too, man. He's a great player, makes great plays out there on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, he's a spectacle to watch, like you said, both sides of the ball. He is committed to Washington, and I know Washington is probably very excited for this young man to come join their program and really step in and do big-time things.
Yeah, he's an athlete, man.
Oh, yeah.
He can make a lot of things happen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No doubt about that. It's 3rd and 10 right now. Step back, Jones looking for Bryant again. Oh.
Everyone has a ride.
He wanted to get up and grab that one. Almost looked like a rocket catch from Madden. Just close. I think the wind is playing a factor in some of these balls, some of these catches these receivers can't come down with, because I feel like a little less wind, we could see some very spectacular catches, not from Bryant, but also from the other receivers we've seen tonight.
I think that was just a great play by, once again, Jeff Carr. That was about his, that was number one. Number one, Jeff Carr. Yeah. That was his 4th deflection on the night.
There we go. And Jones getting ready to hike the ball. Right here, stepping back in the pocket. He's looking to the right. Oh, he's going, and tripped up. Uh-oh. Oh, it looked like he went to grab his knee there for a sec. He's okay, got up pretty quickly. Nice little rush, probably about 3 yards or so. Almost getting in there. 11 minutes, 39 seconds is the time. 27-0. Rodriguez has the lead. But Fairfield's D they're trying to fight. They're fighting, but the offense just can't make up for it, unfortunately. And, this is also, too, a new coach. He's integrating his new system. It's going to take time. An 0-6 start is rough. But, sometimes it might take a season or two to really integrate things. And, I think this program could be something nice.
You really do got to come in and change your culture.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I think that's where you start. It's not even how you run everything. Culture is the start. We have a timeout on the field. Rodriguez calling time.
I believe, with the new coach, change the culture a little bit, change the team identity, and they could have something brewing in the next few years. It's not everything's the short game. You got to play the long game sometimes.
Trust the process, as Joel Embiid once said, and as my Twitter bio once said for about 3 years before I had to delete it. Yes, trust that process. Absolutely. Yeah, everything takes time. The integrations, trusting your players, even those guys that are established players. A new coach coming in. He might say, okay, you're established, you're this and that. You still got to earn your stripes. You still got to do this. You got to wake up and do the work that you need to do. And then that also, too, new regime, maybe a guy that was overlooked, just a sophomore or junior, for example, could get some extra looks from a new head coach coming in.
I mean, hopefully they also could get, as one person once told me, some more live it guys. Some people like it, some people love it, but some people live it.
Yeah.
That really changes the culture.
Setting up here, 1st and 10. On the run, Jones throws it up.
He gave him a chance.
Oh, right through the hands of number 2, Gabriel Cortez.
Yeah, and I think you guys are completely right when it comes to coming in and starting off with culture. I know Coach Hubbard said one of his main goals coming into the season was just to provide some stability within the program, and that right there is culture itself, with stability. And I feel like he's up for the task. I think he could be the right guy for this job. He's young. He's in the community a lot. I think he has a lot of pull with the next generation coming up. I think they could have a bright future.
Absolutely. The familiarity is very key, as he is a former wide receiver that still holds the record for 164 receptions in a season for Fairfield High. They stop him short. Oh, did the ball come out?
Looks like it.
Looks like it, I think. Looks like Rodriguez recovered it back. It's kind of hard to see from here.
Not to interrupt, but did you say 164 receptions?
Yeah. 2009 high school, Fairfield High, in a season, 164 receptions, and that at the start of the season, it hasn't been touched. I mean, obviously we're still a little, it's like midway through. I don't think anybody has anything close to that, but there's always potential to break it. But 164 receptions in a season.
Well, hopefully he could do something for these receivers and give him a little insight on what he has and what he used to do. Some tricks and get the playmakers going, man.
Out of anybody that's going to benefit from Coach Huber, it's going to be those wide receivers. He's going to coach them up, whether he's got a star player or he's got to just get some guys going. Those receivers are in for the time of their life in a good way, for sure.
Yes. Especially playing in a pistol offense.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of opportunities. I know it's windy today, so they probably have been a little hesitant to throw it over the top, but, on a nice night.
Oh, absolutely. nice night like this, I mean, these could be high-octane games, potential 40-point games, you know, on both sides, depending on if both offenses can hold up. And they're getting ready to set up here, a little slow. Fairfield's going to take over here. Isaiah Nolan at center, getting back. And, oh, close. Looked like 15 was holding him a little bit, but either way, Josh Tucker didn't look like he would have had control to come up with that anyways.
Yeah, you see Coach Hubbard on the sideline begging for a pass interference call, and I think he deserved the one right there.
Yeah, that was one of those 50-50s where it looked like he probably could have got the call, but at the same time, I don't think he really could have came down and had the full control needed to secure that catch.
It was contact early, so if
Yeah,
that wasn't
early.
Yeah.
If it was near him, he would have probably got that flag. I think Rod has brought a bunch of subs in now. I don't see the same middle linebacker crew that I saw earlier.
Yeah, I did see a couple of Rodriguez players a moment ago taking pictures on the sideline, so that might be a reason why that is.
Looking and short. I'm sure the wind definitely had a factor in playing of that as we go to 4th and 10, 10:39 left on the play clock in this final quarter of this Fairfield High Rodriguez High School football game. Yeah, the switching them out the defense, I mean, Rodriguez is potentially thinking, okay, this game's kind of in our hands now, having a 28-0 lead. We can give a couple guys some rest, you know, especially on the defensive end, who we've kind of seen both sides of the ball a little more than the offensives tonight.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, though, Rodriguez has been the one capitalizing where Fairfield really hasn't been able to capitalize on those opportunities. They did, however, though, Fairfield High got their first interception and first sack of the season tonight.
3 sacks.
Oh, excuse me, 3 sacks.
We've been counting. We've been very excited for them.
Exciting night for the Fairfield Falcons defense.
Absolutely, yeah. Good things to come for sure. It's just, you know, everybody has a bad game right now, but, you know, got some time to at least turn it around a little bit. And, oh, Rodriguez picked off. It's going to be number 13, Zach Carvello Jr. And Rodriguez is going to take back over on offense to potentially increase this lead. And I'll say probably one more touchdown will be the final nail in the coffin if they can go down and score. Yeah, they're going to be right there. So this should be potentially an easy touchdown, whether they decide to run it in or throw one up to Leroy Bryant, who has been just phenomenal, as we've talked about.
I actually want to see them give somebody new a try, you know?
I'd be surprised if Bryant is still in the game. Is he still in there?
Gotta wait till they break the huddle.
Yeah, a little hard to tell.
Nah, they're in the full house.
Yeah.
They're in their heavy package.
Yes, sir.
They are. We may have saw the last of Leroy Bryant, the handoff to the Mustang as he tries to cut, but looks like he'll lose a yard there.
I know they're trying to get
down
outside.
by Jeff Carr. Jeff Carr is having a night, I'm telling you.
He is having a night. I know they're trying to get outside, but I thought Jeremiah Hill could have cut that up, lowered his shoulder, and got 7 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hill has definitely the cutting ability. We also saw that in the last broadcast. He had a couple little jitter moves to get away from some Bulldog defenders last week. He's doing the same this week against the Falcons and being a little more effective. Here we go. Handoff again, and there's going to be a flag thrown.
Oh, that ball came out.
Oh, it came out. Oh, another flag. Oh, flags are.
How many flags do they have?
Flying.
I don't know what happened, but I hope that Fairfield can get that ball back. That would be, I think, the 3rd takeaway for them this game. If I'm not mistaken, I maybe a little off. It might be the 2nd takeaway, but they've been making some great plays.
Yeah. No, if they get this one, it'll be their 3rd. You're right. The flags just started flying out, and then when I saw the first flag, I didn't even realize the Fairfield defender somehow got the ball and started taking off, and that's when we saw the other 2 flags hit the field. So we're going to see what's going to happen here. Potentially some offsetting. And it looks like, yeah. Looks like they're going to. Referees are taking a second here. Let's see. 9 minutes and a second left in the fourth quarter of this game. 27-0. Rodriguez has the lead over the Fairfield Falcons. The Mustangs offense has been electric tonight, and their defense has been holding it down as well, but can't discredit Fairfield's D. They've been doing their part. The offense just can't live up to those expectations right now, but everything takes time, and we will see that offense shine one day.
I mean, they got a lot of things that they can learn from, though. They can take away from the fact that they did get a couple of good holes on offense for their run game. It's honestly just been a lot of bad snaps, so once I feel like they get the snaps together, we could see a lot more explosion from them.
Yeah. Nolan handing it off. And runner's going to get sent back at least 3 yards there. That'll take it to second and 13.
I saw the vision there with what coach is trying to do, trying to get the ball in his playmaker. I could tell that boy had some speed. He hit that edge. The defense swallowed him up, but I think if he hit that edge, nobody's catching him.
He had a nice little burst at the end, just maybe hit the nose a little too late. All right, and we're going to go second and 15, excuse me. Not 13. And this kid, Isaiah Nolan, you know, Fairfield offense is struggling, but man, he is special as the whistles go from the referees. Nolan almost Lamar Jackson-like as he throws in the air for 376 yards, going in with 3 touchdowns. He did have, unfortunately, 9 picks going into this game, and he's added a few to that total. And we haven't seen him do too much running, but on the year so far, 37 carries, 156, and a touchdown. A little Lamar Jackson in the making. I'd love to see him rush a little more for himself if he can. But, you know, the good thing is if pressure's coming tight, you know, you got a guy that can scramble away, and he has pretty solid speed from what we've seen.
Yeah, I haven't really been able to see him get out of the pocket today. That Rodriguez defense has done a good job in pursuit.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Looking for a slant on the backside here.
Second and 15 now. Nolan hikes it, and they're coming. They're bringing the pressure. Number 10, the pick, and he's going to get stopped. And the Mustangs getting another one, another big interception as they're trying to go home. They're sick of the cold and wind, and they're trying to finish their Friday night all smiles, as it looks like they will. Still, though, 7 minutes, 14 seconds left in this game.
I know when they leave here today, the defense will be getting some praise. They've been all over the field. I mean, doesn't matter who comes in the game. That was, I believe, number 10, Isaiah Angulo, on the interception, and he just came in, made an amazing play, as we've seen from all the players who have been in.
Yeah,
it's pretty nice to see, and I know as a Rod coach and a Rod fan, you got to be pretty happy with what you're seeing.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt. Rodriguez 3-3. If they finish this game strong, which it looks like they will, they'll go to 4-3, and the referee again throwing the dirty laundry on the field. Sorry, Cam, I had to steal your line because it's so good, but I mean, that's just all we've been seeing today is flags.
We've seen a lot of that from them last week. I'm hoping they could clean it up a little bit going into their next game versus Armio. But, I mean, every week's a learning lesson, so you just got to take it with a grain of salt and go into the next week with, hoping to learn more and do better.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Keenan Jones in there as he hands it off.
Up the gut.
Oh, and he's going to score. That's going to be number 3, Andreas Garcia. And the Mustangs tack on 6 more to take a 33-0 lead so far in this fourth quarter.
That may be the player of the game. I spoke earlier on him needing a touchdown, and he has well over 100 yards receiving probably today. Now he has a rushing touchdown on the ground.
Yeah.
Would have 2 if they didn't take that one away earlier in the game. But he's having himself a day.
He came to play tonight.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like your manifestations came true. And, yeah, I actually thought the touchdown you were talking about earlier, Cobbs, I thought it was clean. Everything was good. And then I believe that play, a last-minute flag came in, and it was just kind of like, really? That really needed to be called. So, fortunately, he didn't get one then, but he gets one now. So, I guess it makes up, either or you're walking, you're going home with a score.
Yeah. I try to give the refs the benefit of the doubt. We're not as close up as them, but
and the kick is missed.
Sometimes, I don't know.
Well, I mean, they are the ones close to the field, you're right, but at the same time, they do make, they still miss calls. We see stuff they don't, they see stuff
we're all human,
don't.
right?
Exactly. There you go. There you go.
Robot.
And, excuse me, I thought the kick was missed. It actually went through, so it'll be 34-0 Rodriguez.
Like we said, we're all human.
Yeah. There we go.
I thought it went wide left, too.
I must have curved at the last second, or...
I believe they let Malik Dawson, number 52, kick that, too, instead of Arias as the normal kicker. Maybe having a little fun now that they're up 34-0.
They were having fun, and in our last broadcast, too, before, we actually saw Malik Dawson doing some kicking in warm-ups last week when they played Vaca High. But, yeah, I think now Rod's just kind of, shuffling guys in and out, giving certain guys rest, giving guys maybe that, haven't seen enough opportunity yet to kind of get some opportunities, kind of see the field.
He's almost pulling a Justin Reed, for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Being able to do it both, play defense, and then go out there and kick bombs, man.
And Dawson going to kick it off here in the wind. And what a boo. Nice kick. And there you go. And they're going. Stop there. Nothing. No gain, really. A couple yards. Dawson, though, nice kick with the wind and everything going on. That was probably the better looking kick of the night, I would say.
I had a feeling when they brought him out, they was going to let him boom that kick.
Oh, yeah.
He came out dancing, moving with some little vibe moves. I was like, okay, I see you, big fella. And boom.
He had a boo in warm-ups last week when we were watching them play Vaca High. He had a boo, and that was without wind. And sometimes the wind can kind of help you a little bit, and it definitely did there. So 6 minutes and 20 seconds left as the clock's going. It's running. Fairfield High is going to try to see if they can muster up any type of offense in the last 6 minutes of this fourth quarter. Isaiah Nolan still back there leading the charge. And yeah, 41 on Rodriguez. Definitely jumped early there. Nick Saldana a little early, so that'll help Fairfield just a tad.
I think that's great experience. They brought in their subs, and just to get out there and see that the hard count in the real game is different than a hard count in practice. It's pretty nice. Let's see if they can draw him off sides again for Fairfield, but hopefully, for Rod, it doesn't happen no more and we learn from our mistakes.
Yeah. And yeah, you said it best, kind of the speed, you two know this a lot better than me because you're currently playing sports right now, but practice and the game are definitely different speeds. As
you should make practice as close to the game as you can, but it never is.
No, I agree 100%. And there is actually an injured Falcon down right now after the rush, and he's looks like he's holding his leg area. I can't see who he is because
that's his starting running back, Enrique.
Enrique
Duncan, number 15. He hasn't been able to get too much. Hopefully he's okay today. He has been getting hit. He's been running hard, so I'm not surprised if his body is hurting him after this game today. I hope he is all right now, though. He has been taking some big hits. That Rod defense has been all over the field.
Yeah. And it's a cold night, too, so, all those hits hurt just a little bit extra.
Happy to see him walking, man.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
He's up and he's walking off, so that's good. It's 2nd and 2, 5:28 left in the fourth. Rodriguez 34-0. Fairfield is on offense right now. Had to make a last-minute effort, kind of show their fans, hey, we have a little life in us. We're going to show you something. Just be patient and give us time. Nolan in the center. He's going to hand it off. Number 32, and he's going to get stopped. That was Quill Carpenter, who we've seen quite a bit tonight, but he just hasn't been working that much. Rodriguez D has been tough. First and 10, 5 minutes left in the fourth.
I think we had a name slip up a couple minutes ago. That was actually Eric Duncan, not Enrique. Said Enrique. Eric Duncan, number 15, that went out with the injury.
All right, and snap. They're going to hand it off again. And thought he lost the ball, but he hangs on to it. Gain of about 4 on that play. And that was Carpenter again.
Like we said earlier, Carpenter's a big back. I'd love to see him get downhill, lower that shoulder, and bring the aggressiveness to them. Bring the contact to Rod. They've been enforcing their will, bringing the contact to Fairfield today. We need to see a little bit more from Fairfield coming down and bringing it at Rod, getting aggressive in the trenches and making something happen for themselves.
Yeah, unfortunately though, with little time left and a 34-0 deficit looking at you, it is a little hard and it can really affect you. As Nolan, he's going to throw it, and yeah, the wind kind of took control of that one as he was looking for number 13, Dante Williams.
Look at a lot of wobblers tonight. There's been a couple times where he's come off to the sideline. He's looking at his left hand. He is left-handed. He's looking at his left hand like there's something wrong. So there might be something going on with his left hand.
Also the wind. I mean, that ball looked like it was going much further. It looked like it almost died in the air because of the wind.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that too, Cobbs. I thought it was a little bit a longer pass and we could have maybe seen a big-time play. But, yeah, the wind kind of it took control of that ball and really did nothing. And that'll lead to 3rd and 7.
I believe they should, I mean, it's a little too late right now, but a lot of the underneath plays would have worked today. Seeing that Rodriguez did really good at finding the underneath routes like the curl.
Oh, and Nolan almost took a shot. Nice little pump fake there, and he's still going to get trampled though. Pick up a yard there, and that'll lead to 4th and 7 for the Falcons. Obviously, they're going to go for it, see if they can maybe get one more first down, try to convert something. But if not, this might be the last time we see the Falcons offense tonight after this possession. So we'll see what they can do here. 4th and 5.
Maybe come up with something interesting. Try to have some fun with this play call. I know it's a little hard, it's a little late, but I mean, you got some pluses from the game, so have a little fun with it right now. Your defense stood tall for a good amount of the game, honestly. It was 21-0 for most of the game until the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
Where they got that touchdown, and it just happened to be field position and a turnover on downs that put the offense for Rodriguez in great field position.
Yeah, Nolan getting ready for the potential last snap of this game for this Fairfield offense.
They drew him off.
Oh, yeah.
They also had some players move on the offensive side as well, so we'll see what they call.
Tends to normally go against the offense.
Say that's against the defense this time.
Okay, so that's going to help Fairfield. That's going to get them a first down and still a decent amount of time to see what they can do. And next week we will be at Armio as Rodriguez will take on Armio. That should be a fun matchup, a little bit of kind of a Fairfield inner battle as Vacaville does with Wood and Vaca High. So we'll see something like that. I'm sure it'll be a great matchup for both teams and on both sides of the ball, no doubt.
Rivalry. You gotta love those rivalries.
And they're gonna take It's going to take a couple guys to take down Carpenter, that big back. His build kind of reminds me of a little bit bigger version of Matt Forte. Running back Matt Forte played running back for the Bears, finished off with the Jets. Catch back too. We haven't seen him catch too much, but kind of his body type, and style of play. I see a little Matt Forte in him, but I mean, he is a big back.
That's a great comparison, I would love to be compared to Matt Forte if I was a running back. He was really good in his time.
Definitely won me some money in my fantasy leagues a few years. No doubt about that. As we come down to the final minute and 40 left here, Nolan thought about handing it off, and looked like, definitely some miscommunication between him and Carpenter there. It looked like he was going to hand it off, and then Carpenter went away like he was going to go out for a pass, and then the pressure just came a little too fast at Nolan. Quarterback for Fairfield. So Fairfield is going to go on to 0-7. They're still winless on the season, but if you can give them one kind of bright light in a positive way, it's that defense. Zay, you've been talking about them most of the night.
Yeah.
That defense, I think, definitely deserves some type of credit for just playing tough no matter what the score was, and even though the offense couldn't get nothing going, they still kind of tried to held their own the best they can.
3 takeaways on the day,
Yeah, at the end of the day, this Fairfield defense gave their offense a chance.
Yes.
Every single time they gave them a chance.
Nolan surveying the field, takes a shot. Nobody there, though.
Miscommunication between the quarterback and the receiver.
But we were talking about, my fault.
That's all good. One thing I was going to say about this Falcons team is they have heart, man. They really do. I like what I'm seeing from them. They're down 34-0, but their moral is still high. They're still trying to execute their plays. Nobody's with their head down on the sideline. They still got some energy. And at the end of the day, that's what you want, man. You can't ask for nothing more than that. The game's not always going to go the way you want it to go.
Yeah, and going back to what Blake said, a bright spot has been the defense. The defense has 3 takeaways, 3 sacks coming into the game with 0. Now they end with 3 sacks, a couple tackles for loss. They've actually shown themselves. You can only ask for your defense to get a certain amount of takeaways for you nowadays. And they did what they needed to do.
4th and 10 here. Potential final play of this Falcon offense for tonight. Nolan is still under center. He's going to snap, a little bit of a low snap. He's looking. He's taking another shot, but a little high for his receiver, and that looked like it was intended for number 18, Nahan Chow. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. I do apologize. Tried my best there.
He's also the punter. Nahan Chow, man.
Shaking it up a little bit.
Playing receiver and he's playing punter.
Rodriguez will go to 4-3, so they're above 500, getting some energy and a very good win for them. For Armio next Friday, a week from today. We'll be there calling that game as well. So it'll be a nice win for Rodriguez. And also, a good bounce back win too. Vaca High really did a number on them. I didn't think it was going to be like that. They come into this game, definitely, the opponent's, difficulty is a little, on the higher scale for Vaca High compared to Fairfield, but a win's a win.
They have won league. The last 5 seasons in a row?
Yeah, Vaca High's always been a juggernaut, and they just know how to get guys, whether any position, offense, defense, doesn't matter. And that's Rodriguez is gonna just take a knee now, let the clock run down as we're gonna finish up here for our broadcast tonight. Stay with us though. Once the game ends, we will send it down to the field for an exclusive interview with my broadcast partner Cameron Anderson for the James Thomas Media Player of the Game. So gentlemen, as the clock winds down, any last thoughts for this game?
Actually, I would like to go back to what you said earlier, Blake. I think you said that if this Rodriguez team had came out like they did tonight, that game against the Bulldogs last week would have went completely different. Now, I agree, and I think one of the main reasons behind that is because the quarterbacks was in there, and they didn't take him out every single drive. He was able to catch a rhythm, and you could see that. The offense was flowing.
Yeah, one of the bigger differences I saw tonight, too, same things, they kept the quarterback in, and that's the one thing. You don't want to be switching out your quarterbacks all the time. So as the time is going to expire here, they're going to do the handshakes a little early. 34-0 Rodriguez over the Fairfield Falcons. An excellent night of football, as it is a little cooler compared to the Vacaville weather. So that's going to do it for us, and now I'm going to send it down to my partner Cameron Anderson for the James Thomas Media Player of the Game.
Thank you, Blake. As you can see, I'm down here on the field with our James Thomas Media Player of the Game, Malik Dawson, who had a pick and a fumble recovery. Malik, first off, what happened with the number? Why do we switch up the number?
Okay.
And what are we? You're playing linebacker now? What's going on?
Okay, so basically what happened was in the beginning of the season, we lost a lot of players because of grades. So I had to switch numbers because I was going to be playing O-line and D-line. But then we needed help with tackling, so I got moved to linebacker. So now I play linebacker and D-tackle. So I play a little bit of both to help us get more tackles and just help the whole team out.
Awesome. All right, so now you're 4-3 after this crucial win against Fairfield. What was clicking today?
I mean, we had a great week of practice. You know what I'm saying? We had a good team meeting this week. We just came in, got everybody's heads on straight, just make sure that we got to win out. You know what I'm saying? We got to play perfect, do everything perfect so we can win out and hopefully make playoffs. That's our plan. So that's what we're trying to do.
Speaking of playoffs, we're at the home stretch, only a few games left. What do you guys need to improve on if you want to make that playoff push here?
So we just need to improve on communication and discipline. We're a really good, skilled team, and we have a lot of underrated players on our team who don't get the recognition they deserve. But we're just a really good team, and we just need to work together more, and we'll just come together and make that run. We're trying to go deeper than we did last year.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Malik, for the time. Hope good luck this season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you all for watching here on the Solano College Sports Network. I'm Cameron Anderson, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.